Good morning, everyone. Happy New Day. Thank you very much for attending today's autumn journal service for Ikigami Konko Daijin. Today's sermon will be done by Reverend Roy Yasutake from Wailuku Church, and also Rikyo will be read by Reverend Matsuoka. It's a difficult Japanese. I hope she can read okay. But now we begin the service. Four solemn claps. Mediation prayer, page 2.
Mediation では、Seek Mediation Ikigami Konko Daijin Service each and every day. May we receive mediation from you. All our souls on this day is serving. Ikigami Konko Daijin Sama, Ikigami Konko Daijin Sama, Ikigami Konko Daijin Sama, Ikigami Konko Daijin Sama.
Purification prayer.
Through the way mediation, we are sincere apologies, acceptable to you, our divine God. We acknowledge our mistakes and misunderstandings, our inconvenience or failure. We apologize for our shortcomings and the remembrance of past generations. Guide us along your way of living, reflect your divine will. You are your joyful and loving heart, always longing with you.
Kami prayer.
Whereunto we pray, good and settled in heaven, and kind unto us, young Christ, heaven and earth, the light that nurtures all, heaven and earth, the spirit that waters all. For this wondrous soul, for these wondrous works, Let us pray the benediction of Kami. Let us pray the divine parent of the universe. Our beloved and cared for humanity. All who live between heaven and earth. Reveal Kami of our divine parent. Living Kami's infinite blessings. Fill his way. If any not in the way, those who believe in the Christ. These are the cycle of misfortunes. Greatly Kami's sorrow. Akami wa Konko Daijin. Suffer from any trial of his soul. And now Kami's faith. Which is Kami's great blessing. Together with Humbly we pray. Divine parent, great wish of us. Konko Daijin acceptable of all mediation. That leads to mutual and faithful harmony and humanity. By faith, Konko will faith flows out, expanding the blessings of heaven and earth, and the coming of the coming of God. By night we pray for those who grieve, seeking salvation for all who suffer, kneeling on the dawn of faith. Though years pass, the world change. Even now we are from Sabbath, divine path of mediation. Thus forgiveness and shaping things can be said. Guiding the people for the day, rising thy son, establishing the way of prosperity, the way of peace that we can go right. By this wondrous revelation, we are given knowledge of God. World of our hearts for this world, who came by body soul. The way of mediation teaches us, turn our hearts to come. Whether we are near or far, the way of mediation teaches us to pray with boldness. For living unaware of divine faith, to follow our sincere qualities, let us stand our way. Let us make our way every day, seeking and rejoicing in your divine faith. Let us care for those in pain, and invite them to joy. Let us guide those who are lost, and awaken them to the light of Christ. Amen. We are fulfilled in Kami. This is the way of mutual fulfillment, the manifested in this world. May Kami's wish for true peace, and the world in the world be fulfilled. So we pray for this holy mercy.
Bow respectfully for the Saishi prayer.
かけまくもかしこき、池上金光大臣、天地金の神の御前に、かしこみまもさく。We have gathered here today for the autumn grand service to honor and express our deepest gratitude to Ikigami Konko Daijin Sama, the founder of Konko faith. This grand service commemorates his divine virtue and eternal work, reminding us of the profound guidance and teaching he imparted to humanity. Ikigami Konko Daijin Sama was born in 1814, 210 years ago, at the Genshiji Kandori, and was later adopted into the Kawate family, changing his name to Bunjiya Kazawa. He grew up as an ordinary farmer, working hard to support his family. Despite living a diligent and sincere life, he encountered many hardships, such as the loss of 7 family members and his own near-death experience at the age of 42. These hardships led him to deeply reflect upon the meaning of life and the existence of divine blessing, turning his heart completely toward the reverence of Tenchi Kane no Kami-sama, our divine parent of the universe. Through his unwavering practice faith, Ikigami Konko Daijin Sama opened his heart to receive Kami's guidance, realized that the difficulties he faced were opportunities to purify his heart and strengthen his faith. He trusted Tenchi Kane no Kami-sama even in the most challenging times, becoming closer to Kami-sama and ultimately transforming his life to become a true instrument of divine work. In 1859, at the age of 46, he received the divine message, the Norito Shinto, which called upon him to dedicate his life to the work of saving others through Toritsugi mediation. He left his occupation as a farmer and devoted his life entirely to mediation between Kami and people. He conveyed the divine heart of Tenchi Kane no Kami-sama to those in distress, guiding them to live life filled with Kami's blessing. Thus the Konko faith was born, teaching the Kami and the people existing mutual support, and through the practice of Toritsugi mediation, anyone can become a Ikigami, a living Kami. Dear Ikigami Konko Daijin Sama, through your earnest faith and dedication, you taught the importance of understanding Kami's heart, living life in alignment with the principles of the universe. You convey the message that Tenchi Kane no Kami-sama blesses and supports all people as beloved children, and the Kami to fulfill through the happiness and the well-being of humanity. Your teaching and divine work have been carried on by successive generations of Konko-sama, each ensuring the continuation of Toritsugi mediation. We honor and revere your passing October 10, 1883, which is celebrated as Konko Daijin Day. Although your physical presence is no longer with us, you have stated, "When my earthly form disappears, I will go wherever I am asked." We firmly believe that you are eternally working as a Ikigami Konko Daijin, supporting and guiding us from the spiritual realm. Dear Tenchi Kane no Kami-sama, Ikigami Konko Daijin Sama, we humbly offer our prayers and offerings before you, seeking your continued guidance, protection, and blessing for our community, our families, and for the entire world. Please help us deepen our faith, embody the teaching of Ikigami Konko Daijin, and live life of gratitude, sincerity, and mutual support. May we serve as instruments of your divine will, spreading the way of Konko Daijin, helping those who are suffering. We pray for the resolution of ongoing conflicts and tragedies around the world, such as the wars in Ukraine and Gaza. We pray for peace, harmony, and understanding prevail. Please grant wisdom and compassion to the leaders of the nations, guiding them to make decisions that will bring about lasting peace. We earnestly pray for the continued good health and well-being of the sixth Konko-sama, Reverend Hiromichi Konko, so that he may steadfastly fulfill his role at the central worship hall. May we be guided by his prayers, striving to become beloved children who bring joy to our divine parent through our thoughts and actions. We also pray for the success of all Konko Mission in Hawaii and its activities, that they may further deepen our faith and support the local churches in becoming a vibrant center of authoritative mediation, where people can learn and embrace the way of life exemplified by Konko Daijin Sama. May these efforts help those in need and bring peace and guidance to all. We are also profoundly grateful for the divine arrangements that have allowed this Konko Mission of Honolulu to strive and become a sanctuary where people can seek political mediation, receive guidance, and be saved. We recognize the contribution of the successive ministers and members who have supported the church through their dedication and prayers. Third, especially acknowledge the protection and guidance provided by Reverend Masayuki Kodama, Reverend Kikue Kodama, Reverend Yoshino Masahiko, Reverend Yoshino Sugako, and all the Mitama spirits who have served as the spiritual foundation of this church. With the blessing of protection of Tenchi Kanino Kami-sama and Ikigami Konko Daijin Sama, let's strive to continue the divine work of authoritative mediation, ensuring that our church remains a sanctuary of faith, peace, and spiritual growth in the generation to come. Let's practice the Omichibiki, guiding those in distress to Konko Mission, encourage them to seek authoritative mediation, not just once, but continually. Through this ongoing experience, may they gain a deeper understanding of Konko faith, Konko Daijin faith, and begin practice Konko faith in their daily life by establishing strong vertical axis with Kami or Divine Parent. We hope they will become regular attendees at the church and contribute to a more vibrant and active congregation, setting a positive example within the Konkokyo community. Ikigami Konko Daijin Sama, please accept our offering and prayers of a token of our deepest gratitude and reverence. May your divine virtue continue to bless, protect, and guide us eternally. かくて全教をこぞりて、神と人と愛をかけようで立ち行かり方を世界に権限するとのご神願成就のお役に正しめたまうべく、神導き、神引き立てたまえと、かしこみ恋のみまつらくと申す。
Now, as you were. Recitation of Tenchi Kakitsuke, Prayer Book, page 6.
Ikigami Konko Daijin Service 金の神真に願えわげは我が心にあり今月今日で頼め Pray sincerely all your heart along with the Kami. Kami the blessing begin within heart faithful and caring harmony and joy. Look to Kami always, now and forever. On this very day, pray.
Prayer for Peace, page 17.
Pray for peace. Through our divine mediator, to the divine parent of the universe, let us pray. As the presence of all life God, so our lives of all, the grace and will blessings, wanting us to help one another, live together in harmony. Yet when we wish to ignore, selfish desire to pursue, tears spread across the world, the heart pains as people suffer, perpetual injustice, poverty, and war. Please accept our apologies as we strive to change our ways to reflect your love in what we do. The peace of the world starts with the peace in our hearts. Please grant us the courage and wisdom to see the goodness in all, to speak words of comfort and hope. Allow our actions to form a peaceful world where peace is respected and fulfilled. Through your virtue and guidance, we pray with hearts and one for all to live in peace and harmony, for all to live as one.
Offering of Hamaguchi by church representatives. Ms. Yayoi Watanabe, Mr. Arthur Isaki, Mr. Dennis Fukushima, and Ms. Paula Chibuchi. In praise of Konko Daijin, page 8.
We praise Konko Dai, Ikigami Konko Daijin Sama, Ikigami Konko Daijin Sama, Reverend Roy Yasutake. You are welcome to practice a true Christian faith. Devote yourself time in what you will bless in life. In a world of equality, be with family as we give time. Accept family with my obligation. That's the way I believe. Ikigami Konko Daijin Service. Take the burden and come towards the truth. Divine Lord, come in thank and praise you, Konko. The Alpha Lord, as it became one after another, and was welcomed to freedom, the full coming of life. Finally, we will, naming Ikigami Konko Daijin Service, and Sinto prayer, coming humanity, as humanity, to this great truth, coming to us, to carry on to humanity. We all follow we need for you also practically see lesson devoting yourself everyone say Kami praise Konko Daijin say Kami and human. The conclusion is a complete devotion. That is the world. Today, Kami share with you, so that Kami witness to you the way of religion that I be found out from their conclusion to your interpretation, the way of Christ will give the wonderful blessing, pure and testify. We reflect on your life, and we will appreciate
親神のよだしのままに聖書、page 59. Please rise if you are able. Shimmering Light, page 46, or the Prayer Book Supplement. I'd like to call up Mr. Mueller.
wanted to shine, but somehow holding back joy and fear, sorrow within my heart. Still I know, even one as small as I can run into someday find a shining, shimmering, brilliant light, flowing from a path that never ends. Instead of losing hope or fearing what's ahead, let's keep on moving forward with our heads down high. For we are all living in a world that embraces you and me with its love, supported by the prayers of those who care for us. We're never alone in our hearts. When I'm down and ready to surrender, when times are hard and it seems so dark, just know each day that I'm never on my own gives me strength and courage to try harder. Holding hands with my friends standing by my side, sweet arms together we walk to shining, shimmering, brilliant light, flowing from a path that never ends. Instead of losing hope or fearing what's ahead, let's keep on moving forward with our heads held high. For we are all living in a world that embraces you and me with its love, supported by the prayers of those who care for us. We're never alone in our lives. Instead of losing hope or fearing what's ahead, let's keep on moving forward with our heads down high. For we are all living in a world that embraces you and me with its love, supported by the prayers of those who care for us. We're never alone in our lives.
Please be seated.一度入れ。
異教神殿、この兵器に境に声配差し止めるからその分に承知してくれ。外影をいたし農業へで人が願いで呼びに来戻り、願いが済みまた農へでまたも呼びに来農業する間もなし、来た人も待ち、両方の差し支えに相なる。なんと家業をやめてくれぬか。その方、42歳の年には病気で死も手を離し、心配いたし、神仏に願いをかけて伝会いたし、その時死んだと思うて欲を離して天地神の神を助けてくれ。花へのご気になったと思うてくれ。ごきよりまし、物言われ、相談もなり、子供を連れてぼとぼと農機をしよってくれ。この方のように実に丁寧神信心いたしおる事故が世間に何本も難儀なう事故あり、こいつぎ助けてやってくれ。神も助かり、氏子も立ち行く。氏子あっての神、神あっての氏子。繁盛いたし、それぞれ親にかかり、子にかかり、愛をかけようで立ち行く。Let us read together page 70, the divine message received on November 15, 1859. Rikkyo Shinden in English. With the completion of this sacred staff, I will end your farming career. Please understand, when you are out farming, the person at home has to go out and call you whenever someone comes to give a request. And after you relay the request, you have to go back out again. You have to keep going in and out of the field. This gives you little time for farming, and the worshiper must also wait for you. Both you and the worshiper are being inconvenienced. Won't you stop farming? When you're gravely ill at 42, the doctor gave up hope. Everyone worried about you. You prayed to the Kamis and Buddhas and were blessed with complete recovery. Regard this event as your death. Dispel all desires in the Sutenchi Kaninokan. Also, your wife should consider herself a widow. This is better than being a real widow, as she can still talk to you and discuss matters. She should take the children with her to do the farm work. There are many people like yourself who have sincere faith in Kamis, but still have many problems. Help these people by performing mediation. This will help Kami and save people. People exist because of Kami, and Kami exists because of people. Thus, Kami supports people as Kami's children, and people support Kami as their parent. There will be eternal prosperity through Aiyo Kakio, mutual interdependency. Good morning, everyone. It's good to see all of you here today for our autumn grand ceremony in honor and appreciation for Ikigami Konko Daijin Sama, our founder. And I just pretty much read the divine message right here, the Rikkyo Shinden. If it were not for this divine message, if it were not for the founder, Konko Daijin, to accept the divine message into his life, I would not be here. This church would not be here. So it all started with the founder's deep devotion and trust and sincerity to Tenchi Kaino Kami-sama, that we right now can receive blessings in 2024. Amazing, yeah? So let's not forget the sacrifices that the founder made for not only his family. Can you imagine his family, how distressed they must have been if he suddenly said, you know what, I'm going to quit my farming. And he was like the sole breadwinner of his house. Like the family members were all like, are you out of your mind, Dad? You know, they were like livid. The wife was mad. You know, everybody was upset. The father-in-law was like yelling at him, and that's the sole income that they had, farming. But he left it up to his family. He sold a lot of his land, and he dedicated himself to mediation, towards mediation. Because many, many people came from near and far to seek the mediation of Konko Daijin. And Konko Daijin would pray for all of their problems, and they would receive blessings. And people have continued to receive blessings through Koitsugi mediation, which was started by Konko Daijin. So just continue to give thanks and remember Konko Daijin's amazing legacy and continue to appreciate him and honoring him by being present at the Gotaisai like today. Nick, thank you very much for being here. I'm very honored today to introduce to you Reverend Roy Yasutake Sensei from the Konko Mission of Wailuku. From when I was really small, I remember him as a really funny, entertaining person. He's the funny sensei, and he even has a fan, or he has a lot of fans actually, but even my husband's a fan of him. And when he asked me, oh, who's doing today's sermon? And I said, it's Roy Sensei. And he's like, yes! He's excited because his sermons are quite interesting and they're entertaining at the same time. So throughout the many years, he's received many blessings. And I'm sure he's going to share those blessings with you today for you to take home and incorporate into your daily life. So let us lend our ears, our eyes, our hearts, and listen to him and incorporate, just absorb the message he has to share with you today. Thank you very much.
Good morning, everyone. Well, after an introduction like that, actually, Edna said pretty much what I wanted to today, so thank you for. Okay. I'm going to let you into the world of Wailuku's ministry, I suppose we'll say, so as not get the other city in trouble or anything. But whenever it's come to giving a sermon, it's one thing to do it at my own church where everyone knows me. Well, actually, everyone knows me here too, pretty much. But how should I put it? The pressure. Yeah, the pressure. Some of you literally knew me from like really small time. Yeah, Auntie Judy. And also like when Yano Sensei folks have moved here. I see Reverend Todd is in attendance today too, and we knew each other since Kolohe days. And it's kind of hard to speak in a serious manner sometimes when you see the people looking at you and knowing smirk about, oh, that story, I remember that story. You're not seeing the whole story, but yeah, I remember that one. But whenever it's come to doing a sermon and you really want to put in the right effort, we want to give a good sermon, make it worthwhile for everyone who came to join us today. But honestly, I could not settle upon what I wanted to do for the sermon. I prayed to Kami-sama. What message should I share? What message do you want me to give at the Honolulu church? And a lot of messages came and said, so this is a good one, but that's important too. You could also share, like Wailuku, our faith practice this year is about family. So many families, I'll just speak as far as Wailuku, where sisters just can't get along at all. They never come to church at the same time. When their mother's funeral was held, one sister and her family was all the way here, the other sister and her family is all the way over here. They didn't sit together right in front with the rest of the family. That hurts when I see that. At home, we had 4 siblings growing up. Right now, there's just 2 of us, the eldest and the youngest, me and Alvin. But then there's my mother and my aunt, who is literally my mother's older sister. And I see them kind of arguing and stuff too. But it's never the kind where we have to get all fearful and wonder if the family's going to break up or anything like that. And I suppose in that sense we have been blessed. And just the fact that they take the time to argue, they feel it's worth the effort to get their points across. They're still putting in the effort. But I've seen so many families where they just don't anymore. And it really shows that those special family events, wedding, funeral, that sort of thing. And so I was thinking, yeah, Kami-sama, I should do that. And then other ideas came in. And, are you trying to say something, Kami-sama? There's a lot of, obviously there's a lot of messages I should share. So then I also became with my sensei, who also happens to be my mother. And she wasn't a whole lot of help in a sense. She just said, don't forget that the autumn grand service is about Konko-sama, about Ikigami Konko Daijin. So you can put away pretty much half of your folio with like talks about parent-child relationship and such, which not that it doesn't apply to Konko Daijin, far from it, but it's more about Kami-sama, yeah? Or any of my sermons that kind of reflect more about Mitama. So again, I got stuck. Then I recalled, I believe it was 2023, someone asked me to do a sermon for their church, but due to technical difficulties, that never really worked out. But I kind of have found part of the script from that. Now for that, it was basically the title was, Why Kami-sama? Now, last year, as everyone remembers, Maui had the big, well actually more than one fire, but the big one, Lahaina wildfire, August 8th. So far, I believe the count was about 103 confirmed, with many still unaccounted for, missing. Anyone who's been to Lahaina remembers the big banyan tree, the harbor area. There used to get an old hotel, the Pioneer Inn, right next to it. Across the street was the Wharf Cinema Center, I think. They all had that old school kind of, that atmosphere. It was a popular spot, not just for tourists, but for us locals who live on Maui. That's all ash. A lot of the businesses, my own brother's home, John Guy's house, burned, gone. To this day, there are still many Maui residents who have to live in temporary homes. Some are still in the hotels. Some are staying with family, but a lot just gave up and moved out of Maui. I hear it's a lot cheaper to live in Las Vegas than it is on Maui. But there's a lot of work happening though. The cleaning up is still going, but a lot of it has been cleared. Every day, practically, especially on the radio, we'll hear about the different groups are coming together to raise money, to get essential resources, provide counseling, support. Things are moving forward. I haven't really noticed any new construction per se. There are a few houses that are doing repair work, but Maui, despite being bigger than Oahu, we have a smaller population, yeah? So that means we have less professionals, like contractors and companies like that can go around to address all of the businesses and homes and stuff. So it's going to take a long time. Now, when things like that happen, what is the natural response of a lot of people? Well, if you notice all those ads from we're suing the electric company, or we're pointing fingers at this and that, and all these groups that came up and encouraging people to sign on and take part in it so you can get your fair share. And all it did was raise a lot of negative emotions. Now, everyone's hurting, and human nature, I guess it's part of your self-defense, but when you get hurt, you don't want that anymore. So it's like an extreme reaction where you'll go towards just starting pointing fingers and blaming others and such. For a time, anytime there were groups of locals getting together and talking about what happened, it was always about, oh, they didn't do this, somebody's fault. But gradually, thankfully, you hear more and more, some of that can help. Some say maybe it was supposed to happen. Depending upon one's beliefs, some will even say, maybe we got what we deserve. There's so many ways you can approach it, but anger, being envious of other people who, even in Lahaina, not the whole Lahaina district burned, yeah? Literally, there is a burnt down house, and right next door, nothing happened. Not even a paint was scorched. So you can imagine this neighbor is looking at the other one, how come you didn't? That's not fair. All that kind of negativity can come up. But John, my brother John, of all people, because growing up, he was the really emotional one. But he said, we got to step back, take a deep breath, to make sure we don't just jump the gun, react badly, just not do our research and just act on, bad information or not enough information and just make this bad thing worse. Then we start seeing more and more of those bumper stickers were about getting together and working together. We're Maui strong, Lahaina strong. Well, I got to thinking from a faith point of view, what was the best way to approach something like this? Do we really just take a dark, negative kind of a look and say, maybe we deserved it, kind of a feeling? But that can lead to a lot of depression, if you think about it, yeah. Also, people tend to overthink when that happens, and you get deeper into that rabbit hole. I had a habit of doing that. I can help but wonder what Konko Daijin would have done if that had happened to him. Now, those of you, especially, this is the wrong book, but there was the latest book from Farmer to Founder, for example. There are other books of the founder's life story that you can read. And it shows how he had his share of difficult situations. The two that strikes me the most right now would be one when they were first trying to make a shrine for Tenchi Kanenokami. And basically the job boss, I think he was, the head contractor, if you will, was kind of cheating Konko-sama. Just a whole lot of negative energy there. And in the end, I believe Kami-sama instructed Konko-sama to just forget that or just stop it. You just let it go. Because like a lot of, for example, if you've ever been in that business, construction, there's the lead contractor, lead construction guy, and then there's like the suppliers, the subcontractors, and so forth. So this guy at this point, pretty much the boss of the project, if you will, was crooked and stuff. So you can imagine if you were one of the subcontractors and sort of suppliers, I don't even want to do anything with Konkokyo related projects anymore if they're going to be like that. And there's all kinds of bad things that could have come out of it, right? The other one was how when the governments changed in Japan. First, at the time of the founder, it was the shogunate, towards the end of the shogunate period. The state religion was Buddhism. But then there was the Meiji Restoration. The emperor comes back to being the head of state. And for the imperial family, the state religion was Shinto. Now here's Konkokyo. If you know a bit of your Konkokyo history, you know that Konkokyo had to either somehow be under, I think is the way to put it, the state religion in order to survive. So at one point was a Buddhist church, and then later was a Shinto church. We still have evidence of that today in Konkokyo. For example, the offerings with the sambo, that's Shinto, yeah? And some of the old prayers are literally from the Buddhist books. Yano-sensei, can you remember any of the old ones? Amatsu norito? Okay, yeah, that's one good example. See, these are like, that's more like my grandparents' generation kind of, yeah, if I think about it. They don't sound anything like what we have today. Because the prayers we have now were developed afterwards, to return to pure Konkokyo, if you will. But imagine if you were the founder who, after receiving the Rikyo Shinden, maybe not right away, but eventually he did step away completely from farming to dedicate himself to spreading the word of Tenchi Kanenokami, and the government is telling you either you're going to be under this state religion or you're gone. And not just once, but twice in his lifetime. That kind of frustration and pressure must have been horrible. Although I think it was more his core believers that was more stressed about it than he was, I think, yeah? But at one point, though, the government had even forbidden him from doing any kind of church activities. So he had to basically shut himself into his hiromai. He couldn't outwardly do anything. In fact, I don't think people were actually officially allowed to even visit at that time, yeah? Although a number of core believers, if you will, would slip in, sneak in, and seek mediation and seek counsel. But for the most part, Konkokyo was kind of basically forbidden to be Konkokyo. So imagine you're a founder of Konkokyo and you're being told that. So let's say Edna Sensei is the founder of Edna-kyo. But the government, Todd, says, Aole, no, because you're not Todd. So you cannot. You have to be a authorized and acceptable religion under the government of Todd, or you're gone. So what would Edna Kyo think? What? Maybe in today's sensibility, but it'd be like, well, that's not fair. Kind of, right? On the one hand, you have been asked by Tenchi Kane no Kami, please assist me in spreading this way of faith. But then the government is telling you, no, can't. Yeah, I would have been torn because on the one hand, my faith wants to, my faith, Kami-sama. But at the same time, I don't want to get on the wrong side of the government. It's kind of hard to do goyo from prison. Or worse, if you are deported. Okay, you don't have citizenship anymore. You're not American anymore. Bye-bye. If in today's world, thankfully America is not like that as far as your beliefs and such. But if say we were in a government like that, and Konkokyo were to start today, the way we are, we have different influences. None of us are farmers, are we? Anyone? Might have worked at a farm or such, but not farmer, yeah? Also, 20th century, 21st century, things are very different. But could you imagine? If Tenchi Kane no Kami were to tell you to basically start, say, Tab-kyo or Karen-kyo, could you? Well, Tab would probably say yes. But if you think about it, that takes, first of all, deep, strong faith to be able to do that kind of thing. As Edna Sensei said in her introduction, farming was number one income. It's what supported their family. But to be told to quit that, the wife should take kids with her and continue farming as best as they can. But the number one breadwinner was Konko Daijin. He's also the head of the family. In that period, in the way Japan society was back then, that's just crazy to think about, yeah? And it would be even crazier today. Even building up a successful business and then someone being asked to just step away from that so you can help Kami-sama. Honestly, could you do that? Could you? But Konko Daijin was able to. So when things like the Lahaina fire came along, it really helped a lot of us to think of, well, what would the founder have done in this kind of a situation? And there's examples of it already in his biography and such. Have faith in Kami-sama. Bide your time. Let's see, in here, on the subject of wanting to rebuild everything and get back your old life from before the fire, you want to push things and rush it as much as you can. But in Shinkai, number 10, it says, do not strain yourself by rushing things, but wait for the right time. Basically, it's saying patience. Also saying have faith that it will happen. Don't rush. Don't be rash. Have faith. Have patience. But let's bring this down to earth a little bit more. Okay. Now, in the why kami-sama part, I had given an example. Let's say you had the worst day ever at work. Now, in life, we all have moments where things just don't go our way. First of all, you start your day with, you didn't hear the alarm or hit the snooze button so much that now you have to rush to get ready to work. You woke up late. And because you're rushing, you might forget something, like your cell phone, your wallet. And why is it that when you're in a hurry to get to work, the traffic lights just add to your frustration? It's like it turns red on purpose for you every time you're in a hurry, right? And the other cars all seem to be Sunday drivers. Like they have all the time in the world, while you're the one that's like trying to get to work, and you're pretty soon it gets to a point where you're using sign language, strong words. Your car horn is getting a major workout. But that just puts you in worse and worse mood. Then you get to work. And you find that if you're doing your work, because you're already kind of messed up emotionally, even the tiniest thing can irritate you. You could be at a desk job, trying to write, and your pen runs out. For some reason, that was just, no can, right? Or you could be more like doing in a field. Some little thing that normally you'd be like, don't worry about it. But for some reason, you just can't get over it. They say, what the heck? And it gets you worse and worse. And you're in anger. All of a sudden it's like, equipment fails. Or that's the day your boss just decides to get on your case. You're so grouchy, that affects everyone around you. Your coworkers, your buddies at work are kind of like, yeah, okay, I'm not going to have lunch with him today, kind of thing, right? Then the workday ends, but you can't be happy about having made it through another day. Instead of being, kami-sama, thank you, finished the day of work, now I'm on my way to home. That's how we should feel. But no. And again, every other driver out on the road seems to be total idiots. And this horrible, sour mood, and so sour that grandma's umeboshi and Sour Patch Kids is sweet compared to the mood you are in. That's just how bad. The whole day is getting worse and worse. Now you get home, say you're married, your wife, oh boy. We have a nice pleasant conversation, a hug and a kiss when we got home. Kids be like, hi, welcome back. Or, see, when mom and dad argue and you have kids, the kids are watching this, yeah? And that can affect them in ways that you don't want to think about. They might even grow up thinking that it's okay to vent on each other, yell and swear at each other, and throw things around. I had one neighbor, I believe they were Tongans, loud yells. I believe it was swearing. I only recognized one or two words in Tongan. Things are flying out their door. Then the husband runs out the door. At the bottom of the door, turns around, he's yelling back. And sure enough, it was his wife. Wife comes to the door. She is holding one of those cast iron frying pans. One of the big ones. You know how heavy those are? She's doing like this, like it's a slipper at the Tongan guy. All of us neighbors are like, run, bro, run, right now. Now I'm imagining, for us it was a little entertaining, but at the same time it was very scary. If they're like this with each other, how are they with other people? Gee, I don't want to find out and avoid. Is that the kind of influence you want? Right? That's not the kind of energy you want to bring into the world. And then, that night, forget about having a nice peaceful sleep. And who knows, that bad, sour feeling might just continue the next day. Now, has this happened to you? Oh, everybody's a saint in here? Well, you guys are not being honest. Well, I like to think that every human being who's ever worked for someone has probably had one or two days like that for the course of their career. And on the one hand, that's us being human. But as Konko believers who are trying to pattern our lives after the founder and his faith in Tenchi Kane no Kami-sama, is this the way the day should have gone? No. Right? Right from that moment when you woke up late, you didn't even hear the alarm, you don't know where your alarm clock is even, should you have been all angry and you started running around and this and that? No. What is the first thing we should have done when we got up? Regardless. Thank you, Kami-sama. I got up. I'm alive. Just that, remind yourself that first thing in the morning, you can pretty sure that Konko Daijin was that way every day of his life. That starting a day with arigatou gozaimasu, gratitude to Kami-sama, practicing your faith as the founder did, just turns around. So instead of being, middle finger, honking your horn in traffic, getting in fights with everybody else, getting in a fight with your family when you get home, in the meantime, everybody who's seeing you thinking, what a beep this guy is, kind of thing. But instead, because like the founder, he started with, I know I'm late, but thank you. I know I can get out of bed. I can go to work. Things will work out. That kind of faith that like Konko Daijin has. So instead, it works out. It's interesting how that happens because I have experienced both ways. Some days I'm just, oh no, and yeah, bad day all day. Fortunately, I don't have a wife and kids to argue with or anything, but my friends, my family, and strangers on the road, if I got really crazy, yeah, no, not crazy. But if I started a day the way I feel Konko Daijin would have, no matter how bad it started, it always worked out. Everything just worked out. And it's kind of like reinforcement from Kami-sama. See, Roy, because you're trying to be like Konko Daijin, even a little bit. Different day. Things turned out different for you. Instead of being like a normal person might be, and just and destroy the whole day, and maybe some other people's days too. It's not just you out there. Or turn it around. Be able to laugh about it. Talk to your friends about it at work and such. And it's just everything works out. It's so weird how it does. Because I've had that kind of day where I remember, okay, thank you, I'm late, but I'm going. And I still somehow make it to working time. The schedule, which should have been extra long that day, and if those of you who know what I do to pay my bills now, know what that job is, you don't want to have an extra long day. Remember what job I do? Yeah. You want to do that longer? No, you want to do this very impossible. But somehow, you look like that. Everything is all smooth. We service a lot of construction sites. So a lot of times there'll be construction material, a vehicle, one of the big loaders in the way, so I have to have them move things so I can go and do what I need to do. But it doesn't happen on that day. It just everything goes so smooth. End up finishing work early. So I started off with what could have possibly been a really sour, remember grandma's umeboshi is sweet compared to that kind of sour, into like, oh, this is gotta be one of the best days I've ever had at work. All because of just trying to remember to try to emulate Konko Daijin. To practice this service. Don't just give it lip service, right? Little things like that it's become, just like any repetition, any task that you practice over and over again, now you don't even have to think about it. Do you have to think about it when you're buttoning your shirt? Or pulling on your pants? Or tying your shoes? Not anymore, yeah? Usually. It's the same thing, I think, in faith, because I'll end with this. One of the many different sayings and words of wisdoms I've received from other sages and believers is faith is life, life is faith. Or was it Shinjin Seikatsu? Seikatsu Shinjin in Japanese. Basically, it's all together. Instead of, okay, say only on Sunday, faith day. And then there's no, it's all, it's the same. So it's not a separate thing, not something you have to consciously think about because you practice. So just like we're putting on the socks, you always make sure the left is on the left and the right is on the right. We clap 4 times, not 3, not 5. We notice pray with a single heart because we practice the faith. We try to emulate Konko Daijin in our own lives and make it part of us. We own it. And so we can have that faith life. Faith is life, life is faith. So if anything else, don't think about grandma's umeboshi as the number one thing for the sermon today. You really need to learn it. Reverend Reiko's grandma's umeboshi must have been really sour. I think Fujie Okusama was really sour too. Is really just practice. Take something from whatever source, sensei, the books, even the prayer books have great examples of things that we can incorporate into our daily life and practice faith. So our faith life and life of faith is one and the same. And we can become that much closer to emulating Konko Daijin-san and practicing true faith. Those are really jumbled up on issue today. Again, I hope that doesn't mean I won't be invited again in the future. But remember, let's, in whatever way we can, emulate the founder and truly just practice it. So we don't even have to think about it, that it's automatic. So my last question then. Especially those of you believers who feel they've been practicing faith for a long time. When you're at the restaurant, before you eat, do you? Every time? Yeah, like if you're at McDonald's, get a whole bunch of people around you, do you still automatically? Of course you would, then. Oh, you had to treat well. Take that as your test then. If you find yourself at a point where you can just so effortlessly, without embarrassment, just all automatically, and then at the end, Kami-sama, gochusou-sama deshita. If that's as natural as that, you're getting there. So take that as your little test then. Because that's what my grandpa asked me back in the day. Are you practicing faith? Can you do that automatically? Oh, practice some more. So let's practice faith together. Thank you for coming today, joining your prayers with ours, being patient with me. I hope that you have time to join us upstairs for more conversation, more being family upstairs. So please join us. And once again, thank you very much. And I won't get you for the introduction yet, I swear.
Thank you very much, Roy. sensei. So, reciting spectacular prayer for clothing and also grace before meal. And I will take down the omiki for everybody. So don't forget to receive the omiki before going upstairs. Thank you. Recitation of Tenchi Kakitsuke, page 6. Ikigami Konko Daijin Tenchi Kane no Kami Shin ni Nigae Okage wa waga kokoro ni ari Ongetsu onnichi de tanomei. Pray sincerely, all your heart, one with Kami. Kami, the blessing begin within, hearts grateful and caring. Young ninja, look to Kami always, now and forever. On this very day, pray. Clothing prayer, page 15. Dear Divine Parent of the universe, we are deeply grateful for the mediation. We offer heartfelt gratitude for divine blessings, material, spiritual, temporal, and eternal. We pray a divine favor be granted to one all, each and every day. Grace before me, prayer supplement, page 15. Ikigami Konko Daijin Sama, Tenchi Kane no Kami Sama. Thank you for the food before me that I'm about to partake. Thank you for the hand that prepared this food. Thank you for the life that was used in order to sustain my life. Please allow this food to nourish me spiritually, physically, and mentally. Ikigami Konko Daijin Sama, Tenchi Kane no Kami Sama. I humbly and respectfully accept your eternal grace.